Her legs were stiff, heavy, and swollen. A week ago, it was like lugging slabs of concrete to get out of a chair. The pace was slow, the pain never completely subsided, and sleep was uneasy. It wasn't an uncommon instance. Many people over 60 deal with it in silence on a daily basis. This is where everyone is surprised, though. Her legs felt lighter after just 7 days. The hurt subsided. She was able to sleep better, move more easily, and even take a morning walk without worrying about tripping. And no, there was no costly machine, no doctor's appointment, and no new prescription. She only used a basic oil on her legs once a day, an oil that most people have in their kitchens already. In today's world of drugs and procedures, one that has been in use for ages has been forgotten, and it felt absolutely amazing what it accomplished in just 1 week, without any negative effects or tension. Anyone who is sick of the ache, the swelling, and the persistent weight in their legs should watch this video, because it is possible to ease it. You feel light once more, and something as tiny and potent as this natural oil is the first step. You will learn how to apply it, precisely what outcomes to anticipate on a daily basis, and 3 natural ways to advance it by the conclusion. So stay tuned. Before we continue, please share your age and the location of your viewing in the comments section below. Additionally, remember to sign up for Health 365 so you never miss useful natural advice that actually works. Let's now examine why legs begin to feel heavier around the age of 60 and what's actually happening. One morning, Margaret woke up without any aches in her legs. Slowly, it happened. After a walk to the mailbox, it started out as a dull aching below her knees. Then, even on days when she hardly moved, she began to notice how her ankles swelled by dusk. Her calves would cramp when she stooped to water her plants. Even getting out of her recliner took more work than she had anticipated by the time she was 72. In reality, Margaret's body had been silently warning her for years. But like many women her age, she assumed, well, maybe this is just what getting older feels like. She was losing blood. Once freely pumping, the blood arteries had become small and rigid. There was less blood moving back up and down than before. Her legs were also depriving themselves of oxygen and nutrients due to the lack of consistent circulation. They felt weak and exhausted as a result, as if they were unable to keep up. Meanwhile, fluid was accumulating in her lower body. Gravity dragged the water to her feet and ankles since her kidneys and lymphatic system weren't working as well. In addition to being painful, the swelling made it more difficult to move, balance, and sleep, not to mention muscular loss. The muscles in Margaret's calves and thighs were silently wasting away. Without frequent stimulation, she was ignorant, not lazy. However, having weaker muscles put additional stress on her joints and increased her risk of falling. There was yet hope. Miracles weren't necessary for her body. It required assistance, and in the most surprising way, Margaret discovered that support. Now let's discuss it. Margaret discovered the bottle on a con Tuesday afternoon. Not that she was searching for it. For the first time in years, she had been rearranging her spice cabinet. A tiny glass bottle was hidden behind a dried oregano and vinegar. She smiled to herself as she lifted it up and read the label, Oil of Rosemary. She recalled purchasing it years ago after reading that it helped with tight muscles, but she had forgotten about it, as she often does. Her legs hurt again that evening. Why not? She asked herself, rubbing a few drops of the rosemary oil between her palms, warming it a little, and then slowly massaging it into her thighs and calves instead of reaching for the heating pad. The atmosphere was changed by the smell alone, fresh, herbal, and soothing. What really caught her off guard, though, was what came next, minutes later. A gentle warmth rose beneath her skin. It seemed like her legs were waking up, but it wasn't scorching. For the first time in weeks, she slept through the night without experiencing any cramps. Despite its apparent simplicity, rosemary oil has been used for millennia for a reason. It's more than just a culinary herb. Antioxidants and potent plant components like rosmarinic acid are abundant in it. These organic components promote blood flow, reduce inflammation, and relax tense muscles. This is actually how the ancient Greeks and Romans used rosemary oil to treat hurting feet, stiff joints, and exhausted legs after long treks. The speed at which it operates is what sets it apart. It promotes peripheral circulation, which returns blood to the legs, ankles, and feet, areas that most require it. Additionally, because it has anti-inflammatory properties, it helps lessen edema that results from prolonged standing or sitting. Perhaps even more significant is the ritual, the warmth, the scent, and the sensation of comfort it imparts. It was more than simply a massage for Margaret. It turned into her moment. Now, don't worry if you're unsure of how to apply this oil precisely to achieve the same outcomes she accomplished. I'm going to take you step by step through it. Next, let's head there. Let's now discuss Margaret's use of the oil, how she used it, not just what she used, because it is this component that transforms a basic product into a potent daily routine. Immediately following a warm shower is the ideal time to use rosemary oil. Your pores are open, your muscles are already somewhat relaxed, and your skin is clean at that point. The most important thing is that your legs are dry and clean, even if you haven't just taken a bath. Initially, Margaret would gently warm the small vial in her palms for a few seconds. She would briefly place it next to a warm cloth if it felt cold. She would then massage her hands together, take a deep breath, and pour 5 or 6 drops into her palm. It was like switching a switch when you smelled that earthy, anchoring herbal perfume. She always began at her ankles and worked her way up in leisurely circles, not hurrying or applying too much pressure, just firm, loving strokes up her calves, behind the knees, back down the shins, and then higher into the thighs. It informed her body, "This is your time now." She went even more slowly on her thighs. She made long, encompassing movements, as if she were hugging her legs. It was connection, not simply massage. She spent 5 to 7 minutes on one leg. She took a deep breath and used it to sync her touch as she moved. The nose goes in and the mouth goes out. In a world full of noise, it turned into a form of meditation, a time of common concern. This is what she discovered to be the most effective. Twice daily, twice a day, once in the morning to get the legs going for the day, and once at night to relieve the strain and tension that had accumulated during the day. 7 days. All it took to sense the change was that. Margaret continued beyond the first week. She simply adapted, sometimes only at night when her legs felt heavy, and other times once a day. It wasn't a chore, though. Like drinking tea before bed or brushing her teeth, it became a part of her routine. Additionally, there are small additions you can make to increase its potency. She would frequently elevate her legs onto pillows for 15 minutes after the massage to encourage blood flow back into the heart. At other times, she would massage her legs and then lay a warm towel across them if they were particularly sore. The oil soaked in more deeply and provided additional comfort thanks to the wet heat. However, none of that was the most crucial element. It was the silence. Margaret, her hands, and her breath. No TV, no phone, no background noise, because something changes when you slow down. Not just in your physical form, but also in your soul. And if you're curious about what occurs after you do this for a whole week, we'll go over that in detail next. The sensation of her legs was not the only thing that shocked Margaret. It was the speed with which they started reacting. Things had changed in a way she hadn't experienced in years. By the conclusion of the first week, many people experience a similar rhythm of change. Even though everybody is unique, pain alleviation was not the focus of the first day. It had to do with being there. She felt lighted just by taking the time to breathe, massage her legs, and concentrate on herself, emotionally perhaps, but not physically. It served as a reminder that she and her body were still important. There was a slight change by the second day. When she got up, her legs felt less rigid. Furthermore, she was not startled awake at night by the typical pangs. She slept more soundly and profoundly. There was a small surprise on day 3. As she walked around the house, she became aware of something. She had stopped shuffling. She walked more fluidly. She didn't drag her feet. Yes, she was still painful, but the weight was starting to go away. Her skin appeared improved by day 4. Now there was a gentle glow in place of the flakiness and dryness she had disregarded. She felt more alive since her legs appeared to be active once again. Another thing showed up on the 5th and 6th days: self-assurance. She stepped off the curb without hesitation and walked a little higher. She didn't even hold on to the railing as she climbed the steps. Her legs didn't feel like a burden for the first time in a long time, so on day 7, she stopped, glanced down at them, and grinned. Once more, they felt like a part of her. Even though those 7 days can result in significant change, some people discover that other oils, ones that are tailored to their own needs, produce even better outcomes. I'll show you some of the top ones. Although Margaret found great success with rosemary oil, there are other natural alternatives available. In fact, there may be another oil that works even better for your body, depending on what your legs are experiencing, such as swelling, cramping at night, or obvious veins. One that many people over 60 are rediscovering is a good place to start: oil of arnica. This may be what your body has been suddenly requiring if your legs swell after walking or standing, bruise easily, or feel sensitive to the touch. The brilliant yellow flower known as arnica has long been utilized in European traditional medicine. When used correctly, it reduces inflammation and soothes strained muscular tissue. Helen, a 75-year-old acquaintance of Margaret who spends most of her days standing while selling vegetables at the market, now swears by it. The pain behind her knees vanished after just a few days of use. Now, lavender oil is available if you have trouble sleeping, particularly if leg pain keeps you awake at night. Its aroma alone can calm the mind, but when applied to the legs, it has considerably more of an effect. It soothes hyperactive nerves and pleasantly relaxes muscles. Not only can lavender assist your legs relax, but it also helps you relax. For this reason, a lot of people keep it close to their bedside in case the body doesn't want to go to sleep on certain nights. Horse chestnut oil comes next. This is particularly beneficial if you have obvious veins or poor circulation. It has been used to strengthen blood vessel walls and lessen the sensation of heaviness in the lower legs throughout Europe, especially in Germany. Horse chestnut may be just what people need if they feel like their legs are giving up or if their ankles are swollen by the end of the day. You don't have to pick just one now. Some people use it in the same manner after blending a few drops of each with a carrier oil such as olive or almond. Depending on how their legs feel that day, some people take turns. Listening is the most important thing. Your body speaks for you. These oils only aid in your response. But keep in mind that no oil, no matter how strong, functions on its own. Here are some easy practices you can adopt now to really change the way your legs feel, and they're coming up next. Here's the secret. If you've ever wondered why some people achieve outcomes more quickly than others, your everyday routine completes the picture, but the oil plays a part. It took Margaret a while to completely transform her life. She didn't start taking a bunch of new pills or join a gym. It was much easier what she did. She started to move with awareness. She spent just 10 minutes walking around the block every morning before breakfast. Fresh air, steady steps, and a slight beat in her legs. No pressure, no urgency. That soft motion acted like a pump, promoting circulation and enabling the oil to function more deeply and sustainably. Additionally, she included 3 easy workouts that anyone may perform at home. She would get up on her toes and slowly descend while standing at her kitchen counter, strengthening her calves. She would activate her thighs by stretching one leg out at a time while seated in her armchair. And to keep things going, she made gentle circles with her ankles whenever she remembered. Although it only took 5 minutes, the impact was enormous. Not much changed in her meals either, but she began including more foods like berries, turmeric and garlic that promote good blood flow. Additionally, she reduced her intake of salt, particularly in the evening, which helped to lessen the swelling in her ankles. After that, there was relaxation. Margaret would raise her legs for 15 minutes every day, resting onto cushions beneath her calves while she breathed. Her veins were able to realign, and the edema was reduced because of that tiny break. She slept on a comfortable pillow tucked beneath her ankles at night. Simple adjustments, yet they made a stunning combination. Naturally, though, questions arise as more people embark on this trip. Let's take a moment to provide straightforward, honest answers to the most often asked questions. A few issues appear to arise when more and more individuals start attempting this easy habit, and they are crucial since better outcomes emerge from a deeper understanding of our own requirements. Usually, the first inquiry is, if I have varicose veins, can I still use the oil? Yes, but in a gentle manner. Avoid applying too much pressure during the massage if your veins are uncomfortable or noticeable. Elevate your legs after using gentle upward strokes that avoid putting pressure on the veins. That tiny action has a significant impact. Next is, I'm over 80. Will I still be able to use this? Indeed, your body's power to react is not negated by age. Your circulation, muscles and skin still pay attention, even if it takes a bit longer. After only a few days of regular care, we have heard from patients in their late 80s and even early 90s who felt stronger, more stable and more connected. Is this exclusive to women? Absolutely not. This is equally important for men. Muscular loss, leg cramps and poor circulation. Favorites are not chosen by these. Indeed, a number of elderly men who had never experienced massage before reported being astonished by the extent of its benefits, emotionally as well as physically. How long should I keep using it is another frequently asked question for which there is no precise guideline. 7 days is an excellent place to start. Depending on how your legs feel, you can then continue once daily or a few times each week. Some people develop a bedtime routine and look forward to it. Simply pay attention to your body. It will inform you. And lastly, what happens if I don't immediately notice results? It's all right. The body reacts differently for each person. It can take more than a few days to relieve the strain on your legs if they have been aching for years. Maintain consistency. Combine the oil with rest, water, and movement. Wait a little while. Something is working if there are even minor changes, such as reduced puffiness, improved sleep, or simpler steps. There's one last thing I want to mention before we wind up. Not enough people hear this, and it's more important than you may imagine. Next, let's discuss it. I want to remind you of something straightforward but impactful before this video concludes. Over the course of your life, your legs have supported you through joy, sorrow, and every step that has led you to this point. When no one else could, they helped you. And as time went on, you might have stopped recognizing them, or worse, developed a grudge against them because they hurt, slowed down, or changed shape. Here's the reality though, they are still deserving of attention. You still merit attention. Attention is a sign of love, not because you're trying to seem younger or because you have anything to prove. And at any age, your body deserves that attention. Take 5 minutes tonight to sit down, warm up some oil in your hands, take a deep breath, and simply pay attention to your body, your breath, and that peaceful sensation of returning home to yourself. Please share your thoughts in the comments if this video had any significance for you. For more authentic, natural methods to feel powerful, supported, and completely alive in your own body, don't forget to sign up for Health 365. Till the next time, walk with love and gentleness.